Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? Happy Friday. Chef Eric coming at you with a live cooking class. We're also on Instagram Live here, Lift Enrichment, YouTube Live here, and I even got this fun camera for close-ups as well. Today's recipe is a classic. It's got nice, healthy protein. We got fresh asparagus. So it's basically protein and veggies. We are making pan-seared steak, 2 types of steak with asparagus. It's quick. It'll be maybe 15, 20 minutes max. So without further ado, I do want to get started. And what I'm going to do first is give a quick intro of the ingredients. We have 2 types of steak here. We got a New York strip over here and a top sirloin over here. The difference is it's a different cut of the cow. The New York is has more fat. That's that marbling, that white kind of streaks that go through the center. And this is going to make a phenomenal, easy, and delicious dinner. I'm going to sear this and then cook the vegetables. All right. Going to adjust this front cam over here just a tad. That should be good. All right, so my head's cut off just a tad. Going to angle that up a little more. Okay, so back to the steak. I got 2 cuts because I want to show you something super important that will save you time and money. Basically, you can go for the nice New York strip. These are anywhere from $10, $15, $16 a pound, but you can also go for other cuts of meat. This is top sirloin. It's going to have a good amount of fat. It's going to be a little more tender. You have to cut it against the grain in a very tricky way, but I'll show you how to do that. And you're going to sear this, and then we're going to cook the asparagus. Now, the only prep for asparagus, and parents, I wrote a special recipe instruction that says family prep, do this part first, is you're going to wash your asparagus, and then with your kids, you do have to do and take off the stub. This is that knob at the very end, and just break it off like that. And that's the only thing you have to do for asparagus. I also have garlic. We are going to take that and sear it with the steak. I got some chopped garlic over here. That's going to go with the asparagus. And of course, some fresh rosemary and a little squeeze of lemon that will go wonderfully with the asparagus. So let's start with the steak. I'm going to preheat my pan to about medium-high. And this is a large piece of steak, but the nice thing is it'll actually go a long way. You can feed, maybe an adult and 1 or 2 kids with this because you're only serving a couple slices. You don't need a whole ton of protein. So what you're going to do is add a little bit of olive oil on top and season it really nicely with black pepper. Now here's the thing that most people mess up on for the home chefs. I also have some butter. We're going to finish the steak off with that. Now, most people under-season their food, and that's why it tastes so much better in a restaurant. So what you're going to do is add a little more salt than you think because a lot of salt will actually stay in the pan. It will stay here and not on the food. So you add a little bit on both sides, get all that olive oil in, flip it over. Keep your towel by your side right here. That's going to help a lot. Hello, everybody on Instagram as well. And if you message me, I can see the live chat on Instagram. Actually, last week we did have some families actually cooking along with our chicken and veggie quesadillas. I saw some video of a couple students, or 2 kids, boy and a girl, chopping tomatoes as I was chopping tomatoes for the pico de gallo that we served with it. So I'm going to wash my hands real quick. My grandma asked me, Eric, did you wash your veggies? Yes, I washed everything beforehand. I washed my hands beforehand. We are good to go. So let's put that off to the side, get this beautiful pan in front of us, and we're going to get it nice and hot. So I want to get medium-high heat. By the way, if you like this virtual cooking class, we actually do have a virtual class specifically for students and their families. Next starts Tuesday, April 21st at 3 o'clock. 5-week session, we're doing Mexican veggie quesadillas, healthy nachos, crunchy ground turkey tacos, breakfast burritos, and we're doing one more. Doesn't hit you right now. Go to liftenrichment.com, click After School Virtual, and you can join us. We already are having the Wednesday at 3 o'clock is filling up. We actually just shout out to Bella, one of our parents at Los Gatos in Northern California, who signed up today. Awesome. All right, we're getting hot. I'm feeling it. I remember all I did was just season the steak. That's all we're going to do. Now look these are different thicknesses. This top sirloin is about half the thickness of the New York. So The sirloin about $7, $8 a pound, sometimes $5. It's going to cook quicker, and this one is going to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to flip it a lot more. And let's get some olive oil in the pan and get started. This is my favorite cooking vessel for doing this stuff live because it's nice and wide. This is what all of our chefs use in our cooking classes. Okay, getting that going. Now, steak is a great form of protein. What's protein good for? Anybody answer? Protein is good for your muscles, muscle building if you're working out and exercise, and also just maintaining the muscle that you have. You don't need a whole lot unless you're working out a lot, which you should because your kids, your families, you want to stay healthy together. So taking this, it's nice and hot, and what I'm doing is putting this on the pan away from me. Away. You'll see a little you'll see actually in this camera over here when I edit it, how that looks. Searing, wonderfully done. It's going to be about 6 to 8 minutes for this cut, and it's going to be about maybe 10 minutes total for the New York steak. Now, what I'm going to do, I only have one pan going, so I'm actually going to use this. I have a full kitchen behind me. I want to get that going for the asparagus. Remember, all I did was wash it and break it off. Asparagus, very good for you. It's got vitamin A, good for your eyes. Vitamin B, which is good for your brain. It has vitamin E, which is good for your blood, and vitamin K as well. Plus, it's got antioxidants. Antioxidants are kind of those. They in a nutshell, they get rid of all the bad cells. All the bad cells that are out there, they go and they attack them. They're good for anti-aging, good for your health and your heart. So this is a wonderful vegetable, and I love it because it cooks very, very quickly. Hello, Judy. How are you doing? Say hi to Sarah. I hope you guys had a great Passover. By the way, we did last night a little virtual Seder. That was kind of fun, kind of unique. Okay, while that's going, I'm actually going to get a separate pan behind me as well, and that separate pan will be used for kind of cooking the steaks a little bit, but I kind of want to double time it where I got this going and the vegetable. So it's been about a few minutes now, and I can tell this New York steak is going to take some time. A lot of issues that parents talk to us about is they can't get their kids to eat a lot of vegetables, let alone one vegetable. Here's the vegetable to start with: asparagus. Garlic plus olive oil plus asparagus equals tasty vegetable. Trust me, I love asparagus. I cook it days in advance at a time, and I can still reheat it up, and it tastes pretty good. So let's get started on the second part. Gonna let that preheat a little bit. Now let's see if you can. I'll kind of angle it this way a little bit, and you can. It's actually smelling amazing. We're getting a little bit of browning on the bottom already. And what I do sometimes is I actually push it just a little bit. I tap the meat down just so that it really hits that pan and gets that nice sear. With adults, you can go kind of a medium rare. For kids, you're gonna wanna go more medium well, which means just less pink in the middle. That's really important. And again, this is wonderful because the whole thing will not take that much time. All right, any questions from anyone in the audience? We got Instagram, we got YouTube. What are your problems? What do your kids need help with involving their diet? Are they eating enough vegetables? They gotta expand their palate. What's the problem? Talk to me now. I'm here for you to help out. That's pretty much what Lift and Enrichment is all about. Healthy cooking classes for kids. All right, so what I'm gonna do right now is take a little bit of olive oil, put it in my pan right here. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter as well. And I'm gonna add the garlic. That's what it's gonna look like. Garlic, butter, and olive oil. Move that around just a little bit. I might have to get two stoves to happen at the same time. All you're gonna do is take your asparagus and just put it in your pan. Ta-da! Just like that. We'll bring some of this camera up too, so you can see that. And of course, we're going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. One bunch of asparagus can fit in one pan, about that. So I'm going to stir that a little bit. Okay, it's been a couple minutes now, and I'm going to flip this guy over. All right. All right, let's take a look at that. You can see we have a very nice sear on this guy over here. And the New York, because it's bigger, it's going to take a little bit longer. While that happens, I'm going to show you the secret to good steaks, which is basting with herbs, garlic, and butter. Basting is when you take a kind of flavored fat. We're going to use butter here. Add a little bit hints of garlic, hints of rosemary, which we have right here, and elevate it to the next level. It's going to have this like wonderfully nutty, herbal, garlicky feel to it. So, very simple. All you're going to do is take a little bit of butter here, drop that in the pan, add some whole garlic cloves, and a little bit of that rosemary. You can see, I can see it better over here. Add a little more butter. All right. The rosemary hits you right there. Now, this is something kids can do. It's not impossible. What you want to do is when you're cooking with your kids at home, families, one parent holds the pan, or this pan over here, one hand here, and the kids can do things like holding the tongs and helping you flip it. It's a two-person process, and it helps them actually eat the food that you're spending all this time cooking. So take it here, take it and baste it like that. The basting method, I'll kind of do it for you guys too. Take your tongs and take that rosemary and just rub it on the top and rub it on the top over here. Take the garlic clove, like that, rub it on the top over here, and rub it on the top over here. This pan is a little tricky to work with because it is bigger, and you want maybe sometimes a smaller pan as well. All right. Now, how do you know your steak's done? This is the method everyone uses. It's kind of redundant. This part, see how your hand right here, it's kind of spongy. You press on it. When you go like this, it gets tougher. Now hold your hand together like this and press it. That's pretty much like medium. That's almost well done, medium well done. You press over here, it's a lot less spongy, and it gives back more. So again, here, that's if you touch your steak, and you should, that's when you know it's done. Here, it's more rare. So I'm gonna press this one down. And it's about medium right now because it's such a thin piece. Taking it, wiping it down with the rosemary. Wiping it down with the garlic. That butter is perfuming everything. I'm gonna move my asparagus around just a little bit. All right. That's it for a thin cut of steak. That's all you want. And what you can do is take a little bit of that garlic and just let it rest on top like that. We want to let our steaks rest. How good does that look? For about 5 to 10 minutes. I prefer 5 because it's faster. I'm going to let this one cook a little bit longer, flipping it. Again, the reason because it's a larger cut of meat, but it'll feed a good amount of people. I see a comment. Unfortunately, the YouTube one is kind of farther away. Okay, we got a question from our audience. Is, how do I get kids to cook the steak with me? So great question. A lot of the time, parents are at home and they're doing all the cooking. Kids are playing, having fun. You know, maybe engaging in an after-school class, like a spring virtual cooking class. Maybe you're doing it with them even. But here's how you cook with them. You, the parent, hold the pan with one, and you give them very specific instructions. Number one, you hold the pan. Number two, give them a step stool if they need it. And three, you control everything, even when they're helping out. They can hold this and gently flip it. You can even have two tongs at the same time to help flip it. Those little three things, that's helped to make the steak something that the kids want to eat. Okay. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Beautiful browning going on. Fun fact, that's called the Maillard effect. The Maillard effect is when a food, a carbohydrate, or a protein hits heat and gets that brown texture. That texture creates flavor as well. All right. Asparagus is looking good. I'll bring that up. Ta-da, ta-da. And we're just going to keep getting that buttery rosemary flavor all over Mr. Steak. Now, it's not hard to get kids to eat steak, but if you can get them to eat steak and asparagus, now you're talking. Every meal, one lean protein, one vegetable, and you can have a carb with it as well. This right here will be perfect with a baked potato, some cooked rice, even just a bit of toast with butter and garlic on it in the oven for a bit, kind of a garlic toast. So many different options. Oh, and I made a video called 3 Things Your Family Must Have in an Emergency and 1 Weird Thing to Have. 3 necessaries and 1 kind of funny thing. That video is on my YouTube channel, YouTube Lift Enrichment. Check it out. And I made it last night. Very proud of myself. We're going to make more of that. So here's the live stuff, and then we're going to do more like video content as well. Because, hey, schools are closed. We're coming at you virtually from my kitchen to yours. Lift Enrichment, that's what we do. All right. Remember what I said. Press that part of your thumb, and that's raw, and this is more well done. Press it down. Doop, doop, doop. Oh my God, it's so delicious. That's almost done. That's almost done right there, just the way I like it. Bonus tip. So you can sear your steak on the side like that. Sear. About 30 seconds, and then flip it and sear it as well. That's really gonna help it be nice and even. That's all I need. We're good. Take that, put it there. Put all that flavoring on top of it. Look at that. Oh. Look at that. You guys, come on. Liz, you're going to eat some of this later, I'm sure. Shout out to Liz, my fiance. Guess where we plan to get engaged? The one country you probably shouldn't go to right now, besides China. Italy! So, anyway, that's in September. We'll see how we're doing when we get there. All right, I'm going to show you how to finish. Now, here's something I'm going to do. I'm going to give this a wipe. I actually don't mind that all the steak juices are still in the pan, but I want to get some of that fat, just a little bit more. Transfer that over here. Turn that off. It's asparagus time. Oh my goodness. They are so wonderfully seared. I'm going to try one just to see how we're doing. Look at that from that angle. It's hot. Seared. Woo. Very hot. That's perfect. It's still cooked through, but tender. Fresh lemon on top. This is to catch the seeds. I'll do a little more lemon. And we're done, guys. That's it. I wanted it nice and sweet and short today. Last week at 40 minutes was a little bit long. Anyway, I'm taking requests. Comment below if you want me to cook something, a dinner, could be pasta, could be more chicken, seafood, healthy orange chicken. I'm going to take requests by people who comment below. You comment on this, and I will definitely consider it cooking either next week or the week after. Anyway, we're done. Beautiful asparagus, wonderfully browned. And remember, parents, you want to serve everything hot. So already have the table ready. Already have your setting out, your water, your drink, whatever you're having, your plates, your forks. Take things off the heat. And okay, guys. So let's actually go a little closer on the food. Yeah, that sounds good. I personally love using these guys right here because it just keeps everything nice and organized. Take that, put it off the side. Here we go, guys. Look at that. Oh, asparagus and steak. That literally took maybe, I think it took about 20 minutes max. Now I'm gonna take this, cut up that steak. We're gonna try a little bit of both, okay? And I'm squatting down just for the YouTubers over here so you can see that out front. Got my fork, got my knife. Remember, this one is the top sirloin, a little leaner. This one is the New York. See that? I'm gonna cut into the, I wanna keep that New York intact, but you know, I just gotta. Oh, yes. I should have let the New York rest a little bit more, but that's okay. Put some asparagus on the plate. Just use your hand. So what we have here is some of the New York, and this is some of the top sirloin. Now it's the best part. Let's do the taste test. The New York is so tender. And that nice herbal note from the rosemary and the garlic, amazing. The top sirloin is really, it's quite nice. It's never going to beat a New York steak, but if you want something healthier and leaner with less fat and actually more protein than the New York, because New York is more marbled, that top sirloin is just a fantastic weeknight steak when you just want to enjoy something. And of course, asparagus. Asparagus perfectly crispy. You got lunch ready to go. Cook this. Comment below what you want to see me cook next week. Families, get cooking. Bye. And bye, Instagram.